these things go. So, okay, what got you interested in coaching? Besides, the psychopathic, just forcing yourself to get up early for no reason.
I just like getting better at the game, and I find coaching to be really interesting. Like, I do, when I'm focusing on improvement, I do regular VOD review anyway, but regular VOD review is very different from, like, having a coach, like, analyze your gameplay, and,
Right.
like, it's just fun. It's fun, and improves, like, the rate of improvement when I'm talking to someone who's really knowledgeable about the game.
Of course, and it might even help when you're talking to me too.
True.
Okay, so GM3 as of the forum, so whether that's gone up or down, you've been around for a little bit. So when did you start playing Overwatch?
I played on console in season 2.
Okay, I don't know if I can be in voice with you anymore. I gotta.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that was till like season 10, and then I've got back into the game on PC at the end of Overwatch 1, like the last 2 seasons or so, and then I started playing.
What made you
Overwatch
transition?
2. I mean, it's a higher competitive environment. Aiming on keyboard and mouse is better. You get higher frame rate. Like, the reason why I played originally on console was just because I owned a console and I had friends that played the game.
Okay.
And then what made me switch to PC was I actually had a computer that could run Overwatch.
Okay.
So that was the only thing, really.
Well, welcome. And you are now joining the legendary crew of people that have transitioned from console to PC and basically immediately hit Grandmaster. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the people that transition are usually more serious about the game, so it's kind of like confirmation bias there. But every console player I know that's transitioned has hit Grandmaster almost immediately, or within a few months.
If you care enough, you definitely will get it. Because I mean, I'm not gonna say it's definitely mechanics that are console players' weakest element. It's just a different kind of mechanics. But generally, you have to be a little bit more aware, I suppose, if you can't hit all your shots.
Of course. Of course. Okay, well, welcome. And you are a flex support player. So first off, how you enjoying Overwatch 2?
It's good. I think when I played in the beta, I basically just I was like, damn, this game is way more deathmatchy, so I played a lot of Moira. But now that I've had
console
time
now
with
Moira,
okay. I wasn't a Moira main. On console, I played Lucio, Ana, and those were the characters I played. But
gotcha.
I think Overwatch 2 is good. I think the changes I'm pretty happy with, but it still feels very similar. Nothing. I guess it's there's one less tank, and what that does to the game is it just kind of makes it a bit more open.
Yes.
But it doesn't actually fundamentally change the game too much.
Yep.
My job's just easier, really. It's if I'm playing Ana, it's cool. I just need to win the tank war for my tank, and then it's all good.
Right.
It's a bit easier because I just need to anti one tank instead of 2.
Right. Exactly. There's a lot more individual responsibility, right?
Yeah.
You have to kind of protect yourself by doing your own crap, right? No, there ain't gonna be a big hole in your hands. So, I remember when it initially happened, all the Overwatch 1 support players were complaining, and then now all of a sudden everybody's fine. Because they realize that
they kind of figure it out. I mean, the support passive actually really helps.
Oh, the support passive is I wouldn't say by far the best passive, but it's really tangible. Okay, let's keep going here. So, what do you hope to get out of the session? Correcting some micro play, but also help organize my mental stack so that I can be able to consistently make good plays and clear my focus for more macro things. Makes sense? Obviously, if any of these have changed in the last month, just holler. Long-term, short-term goals: be consistently top 500, play in contenders, play for Team NZ and World Cup. So, where are you at rank-wise right now?
I've kind of stayed where I am. I've fluctuated a decent amount. I'm not sure if that's just
that's normal. Overwatch 2.
Yeah, it's performance. Yeah, it's just kind of I've gone up to GM1, down to GM5. So I kind of always average around GM3.
Okay, makes sense.
But I think if I maybe played, I don't know, if I played a little bit smarter, I could probably consistently rank up rather than it being kind of random.
Sure. Yeah. I think the last 2 goals are definitely ambitious, but definitely doable. I think the Australian, the OCE contender scene is really quite good. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it outside of the crappy time. Like the environment there was honestly just like one of the more positive and fun environments out of all the contender scenes. And then obviously playing for Team New Zealand in World Cup would be awesome as well. In fact, one of my best friends that I ever made while coaching was a New Zealand coach that worked with me in a lot of other teams. So that would be sick though. So, okay, well, let's talk about what's going to get you there. What are you doing right now in terms of training wise? Average day, average week? How does that look?
So like the average, the way I kind of structure it is I obviously just try to play as much as possible. I have like I use like sticky notes to take care of like short-term things I'm trying to work on. Yeah, I am.
Yeah. It's helpful. I like them. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I have the things that I'm trying to improve on in the game, and I like focus on that. If I ever find myself like kind of being at a loss, like if I ever run out of things that I'm trying to improve at, then I will kind of make sure I'm VOD reviewing before any sessions that I'm doing, probably like 1 or 2 games, and just trying to just build up the amount of games and team fights viewed, so I can try to figure out like the patterns.
How long does that usually take, and how often does that usually happen?
It's kind of like it's like if I am doing it, then it's gonna be every single day. I'm gonna make sure that I like watch at least like 2 replays. And I think, how long do they take? I mean, probably like only like each one will take like 7.5 minutes maybe, because if like a game of Overwatch is like 15 to 20 minutes and you skip to the team fights and you skip all the you trim all the fat.
Efficient then.
I think so. Like I've done it enough that it's like, you like watch the team fights, you watch exactly what happens, then you skip to the next one. Probably like 15 minutes if I'm watching two games.
So question for you, and let me interrupt really fast. What are some things that you've done or learned or reminded yourself of during these sessions in the last few weeks?
Oh, in terms of reminding myself in my play sessions or my VOD review sessions?
Do the VOD review sessions for your play sessions afterwards.
A lot of the stuff comes down to things like, if I make like a stupid mistake, I'm like, okay, try to focus on, dealing, especially as like Kiriko, for example, like, if I'm dying in the situation, try to figure out like who the person you should actually be pressuring is, because if you're getting shot, then that means that there is like a DPS on their team that isn't being pressured, and it's probably Kiriko's job to deal with it.
Sure.
Let me get my sticky notes out.
I was gonna say, is this stuff making it sticky notes?
A lot of I try to simplify it. So I kind of pulled that one out of my ass, but like I have stuff like for BAP, it's like, window to target a player and place it so they can't kite. For Kiriko, I have like the macro thing is like take off angles with your most aggressive current teammate, but then I have like the more specific stuff like you can afford to be aggressive and apply pressure because of my TP.
Now, is that stuff that you've taken from your VOD reviews of your own?
Yeah, a lot of that comes down to, it's like a mix, right? Like I try to consume as much content as I can. So a lot of that comes from my own VOD reviews, but like the overall gameplay structure obviously comes from watching good Kirikos and watching like other people get coached on those characters.
Okay, makes sense. I guess my point is that if it's something that's happening every day, I need to see demonstrable proof that you're actually getting value out of what you're doing. Now, I'm a big fan of self-VOD review. I do think it's good, but you need to be specifically looking for things that you need to improve on, or you need to specifically be doing what I would call status checks on how you are progressing at the things that you are working on, if that makes sense.
Right. I think that's fair.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I think in terms of, because the way I try to look at it is I often go through a decent amount of, like, short-term things where it's like, I will pick up on, like, a bad habit, or I'll pick up on a good habit even, and then I try to either reinforce it or replace the bad habit with, like, a good one. So I think it is good at, like, especially, like, I realized, like, quite a bit earlier that like high ground was a big issue, and like by using it I kind of like managed to make sure that I was always getting high ground when I had the free time, or I was always staying on high ground as much as I could. So like, I think I mean, personally, I think it's working, but you know, like it could maybe be more efficient, or I could maybe, I don't know, change the process a little bit so it's definitely like sticking. But yeah, I don't know. I think like individual things seem to be working.
Sure. Okay, then that's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure that with your VOD review, you're either doing two things. Like I said, you're either looking for things that you need to work on, which you probably won't need as many after today's session, at least for a little while, because I'll give you some things to work on. Or number two, which is going to be important moving forward, at least for the next few weeks, is actually seeing how are you progressing at those things. And if you need to fine tune them. So when you're VOD reviewing, you're doing them every day, and that's great, but make sure that you're never going through the motions.
Right, I see.
I would rather you VOD review twice a week than every day, but the twice a week you're actually really focused, right? And you're giving yourself goals to work on. Because I would put it this way: VOD review every day is fine, but it's not necessary for you to be able to have stuff to improve on, or for you to be status checking. Yeah. So just as long as you're not, I would rather more intensity. The duration is fine, 15-20 minutes is good, but more intensity, less frequency. Just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that you're missing intensity, but just be aware.
That makes sense. Just to make sure you get the value out of it.
Right. Don't go through the motions. Okay. Let's keep looking here. So that's good. You said you play the game as much as you can. I want a number on average per day. Obviously, I'm sure it fluctuates, but what is it? What is it looking like?
Probably like 3 to 5 hours a day.
Brilliant. Okay.
3 to 5 hours a day, probably. Like three if it's work, 5 if I've got like spare time. Okay.
Are you familiar with deliberate practice and things like my opinion of training structure?
Do you want to go over yours? I have ideas about deliberate practice, but
okay. So what the best guess is for professional athletes and for musicians, students, anything, 3 to 4 hours. Intense practice is about the limit. Now you can do more than that, but the quality dips off hard. So that might mean for you is the first 2 to 3 hours of your sessions, while taking breaks between, are intense, fully focused, and anything done after that is either just brain turning off and working on mechanics, or brain turned off and just having fun.
It's just kind of like a full fun stuff. Yeah,
Exactly. So as long as you're following, now that is up for interpretation. I find for me, 3 to 4 hours is pretty much accurate. Generally, by the time I do my 3 in-depth sessions, working with people one-on-one, by the time I turn stream on, I'm a little bit more relaxed. I'm not quite as focused. I'm just kind of chilling, right? I know some people that are more consistent at putting out 4 to 5 hours, and I know some people that really struggle to put out more than 2.5. I think things like sleep definitely have a lot to do with that as well, which yours looks pretty good. But your number there is a good ballpark, just as long as you're very sensitive to how you're feeling in the day, how focused you are. If you find yourself constantly having to remind yourself to keep focused, and that you're losing focus and you're getting tunneled and you're getting distracted and you're not, then that might be a telltale sign that you either need to take a short break and try again, or take a short break, try again, still having problems, probably chill from then on out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We want intense focus, tunnel vision on what you're practicing is what we want.
I try to do that. Like when I'm playing, I definitely try to like focus as much as I can on ironing out any mistakes, or like working on the issues, rather than just kind of try to holistically play better, which seems to be like a fruitless goal.
Sure, it really is. It's a fruitless goal unless it's a fruitless goal after you've achieved a baseline of mastery. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Once you're comfortable with a hero, then just playing better is not. Like, for example, if you're brand new to Overwatch, I don't want to coach you. I want you to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But then as you get more comfortable with the game, you start to build habits, you start to kind of fall into a groove, then we want to kind of direct you. And you're obviously at a level of time to where you need direction. Right.
I think so, yeah.
But that being said, if the new support comes out or Life Weaver actually is playable, then you wouldn't want to be overly judgmental with how you'd play. You'd want to just kind of chill and kind of over time. But anyway, okay, I will recommend taking breaks between games whenever you can, even if it's just for the queue time. I would also recommend taking at least a 5-minute break between every hour and a half block. Get up, move around, stretch your legs, reset your focus. You're going to increase your uptime of value by doing that rather than playing 3 hours in a row. It's just objectively better, so make sure that you're doing that. Do you have a warm-up routine right now?
Yeah, my warm-up routine is like about like 15 minutes of the Aristoxane trainer, and then like some deathmatch in the queue times, especially if it's like earlier in the day, the queue times can be a little longer, so I get like probably about like 10 minutes of
between.
like deathmatch.
And then I missed what you said. You said IO Stucks.
The aim trainer.
Okay.
So it's, so it's like 15 minutes of that, just to like warm up the mechanics and stuff.
And then you go into ranked?
Yeah, and I just go into ranked.
Okay, that's good. I will say the one thing about IO Stucks aim trainer I'd be careful with is that I think it's not as useful for projectile players.
It's definitely not like perfect.
So I like it, but I would always try to supplement it with something else, even if it's like 5 minutes of try hard. I don't know if you have a lobby there, maybe a couple of minutes in an arcade death match, maybe a little bit of Vaxta, something like that. Just to supplement, right? As long as you feel warm and awake, that's fine. And then the death match or whatever aim training between queues. Again, make sure that that's not something that you're always doing and that you're allowing yourself to get up and move around and stretch as well.
Yeah, it's usually just to warm up. Like once I feel warm, I don't really feel the necessity to like myself with deathmatch. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I don't have a lot of critiques. As long as we keep yourself deliberate with your VOD review structure, as long as you're keeping yourself refreshed and focused for your training time with ranked, as long as you are understanding your limits with how focused that you can be and you're trying to be as focused as you possibly can be during your blocks, then I don't have any critiques. Your hero pool looks good. Do you have any other questions before we keep going?
Not really. Yeah, no, that sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, obviously you're doing something right to be where you're at, but I wanted to quick double check. Okay, what do you feel is holding you back from improving? And you say, as of April 16th, I think I'm improving because I self-review and get coached, but I wanted a fresh perspective and I value your opinion. That's your first mistake. But I also think my autopilot is trash, bad at breaking bad habits. Now, this is juicy. Please break that one down for me, please.
I think like if I'm not don't have kind of the structure that I have and I just kind of play the game as if I'm just like, I'm just gonna not think about it too hard and I'm just gonna do what I'm doing, then I feel like the default habits I have currently, I feel like are not like super good. I think I could be wrong about this, but I think I have like less like just raw game time compared to other people at my rank.
Do you have the same account from console?
No, I don't.
How that works. Never mind. How many hours do you have in the game?
I think, I mean, on this account, it's like 350. On the console, I still like my console account is tied to like a PC account. That account was like 300 or something, like level 300. And I have like 350 hours in Overwatch 2.
So like sub 1,000 total hours.
I think it might be sub 1,000 total hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a scrum.
Yeah. I am
okay. So keep talking down your autopilot's trash, bad at breaking bad habits, because I interrupted you there.
No, that's okay. I just think like I don't think obviously it's like by trash I mean relative to what
I know what you mean.
Rank is. But like I don't know. I think like I think sometimes I just make stupid mistakes, and like I know people make stupid mistakes, but like I think I should be able to get to a level where I'm not making stupid mistakes even on that autopilot, where I'm trying to focus on like either like hitting my shots, or when I'm focusing on like ult tracking, or I'm focusing on like making a play, where it's like any like positional stuff or any like kind of decision making in between. When I do have to, like I said with like the meta stack, where it's like sometimes I shouldn't have to be able to deal with like 7 things at once, because the first 5 things should just be automatic, right?
Right. So the first easy thing to blame that you've already brought up is that you're just new, right? You just don't have the reps that you need to be able to autopilot correctly. The second thing that you also have to keep in mind that while some of the things that you're autopiloting, if you are focusing on deliberate practice and setting goals, it is also normal that some of that brain space to be taken up by whatever you're focusing on, so that the things that should be more autopiloted might be choked more often. For example, if you're hard focused on your cover usage, some of the things like your sleep dart accuracy might not be where it needs to be, even in an autopilot form. That's normal, okay? So I wouldn't worry too much about it. The other possible problem as well is it might be that when you're noticing that your autopilot is trash is when you're already in a more fatigued state. As you get more tired. So the solution is sleep more, take more rest, take more breaks, keep yourself focused on things until they become better, and then just be patient. Or just be patient. Now, I am curious when you, because this has all been very like big picture stuff, but what bad habits are we really talking about here?
Well, yeah, I think like that's kind of the thing I always struggle to identify in my own play is like what are like the bad habits that are causing me to get killed.
Gotcha.
That's kind of like I think honestly that's kind of where the coaching helps me a lot is like a lot of the mistakes I make that I don't pick up on, usually picked up on by coaches. But from recent memory, I think like maybe the bad habits I have is like I sometimes if I'm not thinking, I don't think I jump too much, but like sometimes if I'm not thinking, I will like do like a bad kind of like instead of like peek shooting, I will like jump peek shoot, which is like way worse.
Right.
Just like as an example, like maybe like the basic stuff like the movement will break down.
Okay.
Or like just like general positioning where it's like, oh, if I'm not thinking, I probably could have taken high ground, and if I had taken high ground, especially as like Ana, for example, it's like, oh, I probably could have lived like their engage. But you know, I don't know. I think like yeah, maybe I'm pulling at straws a little bit because I'm like I'm not as good at identifying my own habits. Yeah.
And I got you. I mean, basically, an example that you're giving with the Ana, the real question is, were you thinking about anything? And if the answer is no, then you needed to be focused, or you needed to take it right. Or were you thinking about something else? In which case, that's okay. We'll live with you mispositioning because you're focused on something else, right? And again, that kind of goes back to my previous point. It's like finding what those things are. I will say for like bad habits that are more mechanical, breaking those in game is often really, really good, but it's a lot harder to because there always feels like there's more important things to focus on. So one tiny little tip I might have for you, if you notice something like crosshair placement, jumping, your movement, 80-80 strafing is bad, that would be something to train not in game. That would be something to train in the Stux code or tryhard or arcade, because you don't have to worry about anything there, so you can kind of work on some of the more mechanical micro mistakes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's more for those. For the other stuff, let's just wait and see. One other tip that you can do as well, you can have like one day a week where you just play for fun. And don't have any goals at all, if you want to actually see where you're really at. Now, obviously, you're going to be thinking, right, if you can't break that habit, but you can try to just be like, I'm just going to try and win every game I play. That's my goal for today.
See what happens. That's not like a bad idea, yeah.
See what happens. Benchmark. Okay, do you have any other questions or anything else you wanted to go over before we look at some footage?
Not really. I'll probably have a lot of questions like in the actual game.
Let's do it.
Probably. Cool. Do you want a replay code?
Of course.
Okay, I'll send you this one. Yeah.
Okay, let's get this one started. Watch point Gibraltar. And is this Kiriko?
Yeah, it's Kiriko, I think, the whole way through.
Alrighty. So
I'm like pretty... Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty happy with like my... So like at least relative skill for like I think Kiriko is one of my weaker characters, and Jungle Queen's quite good right now. So I want to play her more, and she's just fun because I think like Ana's probably my best hero, and Kiriko might be my worst of the flex supports that I play.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. I mean, I would ask you what Kiriko is good at, but I think you already know the answer to that. So instead, what we're gonna do is put your gameplay versus the gameplay that you should be doing at this point in time, and then make the comparison. You probably already know what you got to worry about, so let's just see. I will say that the fact that you're on Ana, and the fact that you're on, really the combo that you're on right now is, look at your comp. What's important about your comp for you?
Enabling my D.Va and Genji,
sure.
I would think. Because like Ana can kind of like, I think mainly the Genji really, because like Ana can sit on cart and just shoot. Widow's gonna do her own thing. So I just want to make sure that like help the D.Va when I can. Maybe if she gets like Omega owned by like sleep and fire, I can like Suzu her. But like otherwise like hit the Genji when the Ana probably might not be able to.
Exactly. Now one thing that was a good reminder for me is I was looking at a recent Florida Mayhem match. Breaking down like their Kiriko BAP comp or whatever weird shenanigans they're pulling out. And I was noticing that Kiriko was playing with Tracer a lot, which obviously no surprise there. Someone been coaching for a long time. However, that when there were opportunities or better positions, the Kiriko sometimes was just going by herself, just literally playing DPS.
Right.
And I think that that's something that you might even have the opportunity to do here, especially on a map where there's a lot of high grounds, right? Where the wall climb really allows high repositioning.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially when you're thinking about like Ashe, Ana, Soldier. These are heroes that you can really mess up. So, you know, 1+1 is always better, unless your +1 is in a position that you don't want to be, and then you can just play for yourself.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Just something to keep in mind.
I definitely do think I tried to, like, the focus here was trying to see. I was doing a little bit of limit testing, I think, and just seeing how, like, much value I can get just out of, like, pressuring the DPS and stuff.
Right. This is one of those situations where I think you can see a window of opportunity here. It's like here.
Yeah, I could probably go around. Their focus is, it's like a split focus, right?
Exactly.
Where it's like,
a split focus, you create pressure from here, because right now there isn't going to be a high demand for support. There's nowhere that you can really go. You can't be with your Genji, obviously. It's not safe. So you take your own angle, you create pressure, you distract the enemy team. Either you get a kill, or you force them to react and respond, and then you disengage, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I want to be seeing here.
Okay, that makes sense. And then that kind of takes the pressure of Genji, so I don't even need to
Exactly. Because you're gonna the damage that you direct towards yourself is gonna be more than the healing that you do to Genji, and there's a higher reward because there's an actual chance of a kill, right? Whereas what you're doing right now is like not the best. Now you're just gonna TP away.
Very passive, yeah.
This is really bad.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha.
What should you do right now? Right now.
Should I just TP away?
TP to Genji immediately. TP to Genji immediately. TP to Genji, then start damaging. Right?
That makes sense. Don't like engage with the monkey, I guess.
Suzu's too valuable, right? Like Suzu's too valuable. Like I
don't need to take this fight.
And it's like you're gonna end up using, like, theoretically, like, it was nice if your D.Va to heal back, but that could have cost you and probably will cost you both of your cooldowns. And meanwhile, like, obviously you could
like Suzu plus a D.Va peel is a lot of resources when I could have just like TP'd away.
And you're not gonna kill the Winston.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're just not going to kill the Winston. Meanwhile, these guys are actually pressurable. So, yeah, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, I gotcha. I guess, like, priorities, right? Just, like,
exactly.
On the targets.
Here, you can go with your Genji if he wraps, right? Because this is a pretty good angle for you here, right? But what you're doing now is also fine, too. So, Suzu's good. I think it seemed totally reasonable. I was scared of DMAC there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Because you can inbone through, like, the initial jump damage.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it was necessary.
Alright, I'm egoing. Oh, we got it?
I mean, honestly, why not ego? As long as you have TP. Yeah. As long as okay, here's the one thing I will say. Every time you take a duel like this, you need to be thinking, where am I going? Like, when the Winston, like, was here and you were not taking the angle, okay, fine. But where are you going? You needed to know, right? You needed to know. You need to be pushing your limits, like you were saying, the limit testing, but you always need to know where you're going as soon as stuff goes bad.
Yeah, having an escape option, I mean, it's a lot easier with Kiriko, so, like, learning it with Ana definitely means that it's a little bit better when I'm... Oh, good job, Hanzo. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that was a big feedback.
This is just a big troll.
Because I'm like, I see the D.Va here, I'm like, oh yeah, we should be good, and I don't even look at the...
I think the mistake happens before this, right? I think this is the mistake right here.
Is like, oh yeah, okay.
Why do you get your TP force?
Because I get shot at.
Why do you get shot at?
Because I go out in the open and I don't, like, look at the soldier until it's too late.
You just troll. No, you're just standing in the middle of nowhere. Like, honestly, if the soldier's even slightly better, you die before you even TP.
Yeah, he just, like, gets your speed.
Right, so
he hits his rocket, basically.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I think, like, like, I had the false assumption, like, oh, my D.Va's up, she must have made all that space, but no, she just, like, went past the soldier, which is, like, fair enough.
Just play cover, you know, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes, even at this level, it really is that simple. Okay. Now, this is where you're going to have to be cute, because I had this conversation with it was a Platinum or a Diamond Kiriko yesterday, and we talked a lot about Kiriko Ultimate, because it's one of those ults where, like, the very first use of the Ultimate in the meta at the time was not the way that it's going to be used in 90% of circumstances for the rest of the meta. And that's why I was so angry at Overwatch for their balance, because it really messed up a lot of people with habits. It was counterintuitive. So you probably can see where I'm leading with this, right? You're not going to go to card and throw your Kiriko ult on card. It's not going to happen. What is your Kiriko ult used for?
I mean, I use it as, like, a tempo play. I'll be honest, I think my Kiriko ult is, like, probably going to be pretty bad, because I'm not, like, I don't have, like, a great like understanding of it, but like generally I am probably going to use it to like for like a tempo swing and in a situation where I can just like hopefully like get a bunch of resources for my team and also make space and like throw some fucking kunais and
sure.
get the kill.
Sure. Let me give you a little bit of insight. It is a more dynamic Baptiste window.
Yeah, that's
if you
I would agree. It's a good
walk out here and you get the fight devolves and you see maybe this Winston disengages and you throw the Kiriko across this high ground here, from here to here, and they kite out and they drop and that's fine.
Yeah.
The odds of getting a kill during that rotation and that complete chaos are pretty high. And even if you don't get the kill, the cooldowns that you force, the space that you've secured, totally fine. And especially with how wide open this map is, there is no guarantee that you're going to be able to win a brawl ult with it. So just like you said, use it. Use it. Treat it like Valk, treat it like Bap window, treat it like Coalescence. Just use it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Obviously not now, but when you get an opportunity to.
I should probably be pushing this.
Oh,
we're going down now.
Once he backs up.
Once he backs up. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I see he backs up. Not like when he's in my face.
Yeah.
Once he goes out.
Now you should be walking here, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's what I'm thinking now.
Yeah. And then now, here's where you could do the Kitsune, right? You throw it right across here.
Yeah, that would be good.
Right? You could honestly do it here if you wanted to. You could do it right now. You could still do it now.
Yeah, I definitely think I probably have a fear of, like, I'm probably not using it when I should have.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Because it's
like I waited too long and we lost the fight.
Right. Just not like, because like, I mean, you couldn't keep your Ana alive, but you haven't contributed to this fight.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I had done the Kiriko up there, then Ana wouldn't have like dropped and it would have been a peel.
And the problem with this is it's like, this is a classic Kiriko mistake, even in high levels, right? To where you're like, oh, we're gonna Kiriko in cart, we're gonna win a cart, and sometimes that's good. But the problem is that really the threats that you have to worry about still have the position that they want.
Yeah,
they're still in high. The Ashe is still going to be in high. If this Ana had not died, she would have been in high as well. And then what are you going to do? You're going to force the Winston to jump out, but you're not going to cap with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is really terrifying still. I mean, there it is. Reaper's still out. The D.Va still gets demacked. Soldier's still on top. Like it's messy, right? Let me pay attention to what's actually happening here.
I think I just hit some shots. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie.
That was kind of lucky that it's not like very
goofy, but
yeah, I think I definitely am too blasé about it when I have the thing.
I will say this as well, more of a micro thing here, but really, you should be up top.
Yeah, because I have the wall climb. I can just like.
Well, not even. I wouldn't even mind if you use TP here.
Oh, okay, good.
Because you have it now, right? Screw. Don't chase the Winston here. Chase the D.Va. Because remember, it's not so much, stop chasing the tank. What position matters on the battlefield right now?
The high ground and the
high ground.
Specifically, like the people pressuring our people who are trying to get the point.
This doesn't matter. This is what's going to kill you. This is where you need to be. Yeah. And sure enough, look at what happens. They get the res, D.Va gets demacked, D.Va dies, Soldier holds top, Ashe holds top. If you're here, these guys are done. It's over.
Right. So it's I guess it's like more about like making sure you're supporting the most aggressive player because you have the ability
and you already understand that, right? You talked about that with me here. So this isn't necessarily a gap in understanding, it's a gap in skill.
Yeah, exactly. It's like not applying that knowledge when the game is actually like going on.
Which is something that just need to continue to practice. So I think a little bit more awareness of what was going on there would have helped. And then even here, right? Get out of here. Get out of here. You could TP to D.Va at this point, walk up to here, take an angle here, set up your own aggro DPS angle. Like, don't get out of here. You can't be here. Because what have you done? Again, because this is what happens. You get in a feedback loop or a gameplay loop where you spam from a sloppy position instead of taking a better position, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then the fight starts. You go, well, I can't go on high ground anymore because I have to heal my Reaper, right? And then you're like, well, and then you get stuck. Like, for example, remember when the Ana peel, right? You never actually took the high ground angle. You never actually put pressure out. So then you try to peel your Ana. You couldn't peel your Ana. Then the Winston's chasing you. You're stuck in the floor. You can't damage. You can't peel. And it's just snowballs. And you can't, like right now, there's no time. Like you can't. Now you can't. Your Suzu's forced. Now you're stuck on the floor.
You definitely get fights where you're like, oh, I feel like I never got a good position because it all just comes like tumbling down.
Right. You've done nothing but heal bot this entire fight because you wanted to damage early. You got greedy, and then so now you're paying the piper for it.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't cap. That was kind of unfortunate.
Mechanics are just not a weakness. Let's put it that way.
Okay, thank you. Well, that's good. I'm glad that, like, I would rather it be, like, more about knowledge and, like, applying information, right? So that's good.
What you're doing is fine. Just know your escape route.
Yeah. I probably could have just TP'd instead of using Suzu anyway.
I would agree with that. That does seem to be a problem with you. Because the thing is that you use the Suzu, but you know you're going to leave, right? You
exactly.
Use the Suzu there if you were like, I'm going to use the Suzu and I'm going to kill this guy, then I'm going to TP out. But you weren't going to kill him.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It's just kind of delaying the inevitable. It's not like confirming the kill.
Exactly. And then again here, like, we're kind of in a feedback loop here to where, like, I'm not necessarily recommending for you to go on a hard flank over here.
Right.
But you could. You could have.
Yeah,
walked,
if I have TP, I could. Like,
you could have walked over here. You could have even taken the position here and egoed a little bit here, right? This is kind of aggressive, and then dropped and wrapped around here. But like, my point being is that even if you don't want to here, give yourself the opportunity to think about it before the fight starts.
Because
Okay, because now you're kind of stuck, right?
Yeah.
Like, the fight's going to start, and you're going to have to use TP as the fight's starting to take a position instead of already being in the position in the first place.
Right, that makes sense.
And now it's like, this isn't great. Like, you're not in a good position to shoot the Ashe. You're not in a good position to shoot the Soldier. You're not in a good position to put a solo off angle. You're not in a good position to control the high ground. Now, how many of those things are actually useful, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There we go. But you're not even giving yourself the chance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As aggressive as the players that you are, the positions that you were taking these like last several fights have been really bad.
Right, fair enough. That makes sense.
And it's because
I think I agree.
It's like the feedback loop that you're getting in, you know?
Yeah, you never get into that good position that you were trying to get because you took a bad one early.
Right, you guys cap.
Yeah, I got pretty carried. Yeah, we cap, I think.
I mean, I think you're using your cooldowns well, and you're still hitting shots, but yeah, looking at it from a more dynamic standpoint. Okay. Let's see. Queen. It's a bold move.
Yeah, I don't know if they stick with Queen. That's bold on this map, I will say.
Yeah, even the current Queen.
Look at this Reaper. That's a nice angle.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Honestly, even if the Reaper isn't here, I'm not sure that I want you where you're at right now.
Yeah, because like Ana can kind of like deal with these people can just like get healed by the Ana. I can like put pressure on the people actually shooting them. I have a free escape route with TP. Like, I agree.
I want to know what you want to guess what DMX or Diva? Huh. Let's watch.
Probably the Ashe. I'm reckoning.
It's the Ashe. Yep, it's the Ashe.
Yeah, she just stood still and took like 17 billion free shots on it. Because she's just shooting a bunch of times. Yeah.
Obviously, not just the Ashe, but you know,
she contributed a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Your pressure this fight was nil.
Yeah, I would have done better to play fucking Mercy and like restart or some shit. It's like, if I'm not gonna use the pressure.
Yay, nice. Now you are a little early, so just be cautious. But it's probably reasonable given the fact that they're about to cap. You know, you got to roll the dice a little here.
I think I was not confident that we were gonna.
I mean, honestly, fine. Unlucky. Go next.
Yeah, it was kind of just like I'd already kind of made the bad play that led to that, right? So
when you're playing with a Lucio or a Brig, obviously a lot of what we're talking about is more dynamic, but even then you would still like look for as many opportunities as you can.
Right, yeah. Gotcha.
Win it.
I think. Yeah, I hope I do.
You're gonna win it.
Oh, I might have to back up, unfortunately.
Oh. I wouldn't drop necessarily though.
Okay.
I wouldn't drop. I might continue to trade with this Queen because she's gonna have to drop because she's by herself, right? And then you can still support your Queen from here.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
And then from here, at some point, she's gonna have to drop, and then you just take the way the angle, and then you go for her backline. Now I'm gonna be honest. This Queen is. I like what this Queen is doing. It is making it very awkward, but she would not be able to do it as near as effectively if you were just there to pressure her out.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
This is fine. Like I think once you've committed to what you're doing, I mean, you might as well, right?
Yeah, I just need to like get the tempo.
Careful about the plat magnet here. That's where you just press W, you know?
Yeah, no you don't want to just...
You're just like, I'm running it down. Yeah, careful. Where is your Kitsune?
On the cart?
It just disappeared. Oh, it disappeared. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Okay.
The fox died.
I don't know. Yeah,
I was like, where is it?
Go down the curve. Yeah.
Oh, you need to get ready to get out of dodge. Nice.
Yeah, I agree. Because now I'm like kind of behind them.
Oh, I mean, I don't think you needed to, but I was just saying like, oh, let's go. Ha. Oh my god, you're just the greatest.
The auto fucking helps a little bit. Yeah, you can see I'm like feeling myself. I'm going so far into this one.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Take high.
TP out. That's all good.
Yeah, this is just one of those situations where sometimes like being aware of what's going on around you would be helpful, right? Just be aware of this, right? Because you could do this and also pop shots, and then just be aware. Just take a quick periphery check, like right there. Okay, there you go. You know, honestly, this is fine. You're doing it. I just want to make sure that you are doing it, right?
Yeah, I do try to like do like kind of like the, especially on Kiriko, I do try to do like the 180 kind of check my surroundings, like
right
look
now
through
you
the
need to be
walls,
doing
see
it.
where my team was.
Like right now you need to be doing it again. Check your periphery, right?
Yeah.
Because then you've got this going on up here, right? So you just need to be aware of these things.
Yeah, I might be a bit late to that, Hanzo. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you're going to be able to save your cast, but like, right, for example, like right now, you need to know you don't need to be here, right?
Yeah,
then I can go back up top, and then I can play selfishly for that because you don't want to be here. Oh no.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, look at where you're at. Just horrible, right? Hanzo, Ana, anywhere. Don't be here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in like a real bad spot.
Yeah, because then what ends up happening is your Hanzo kind of trolls. Well, you know, I think it's it, but like you could have done so much, been so much safer from this high ground position.
Yeah,
so like
if I was there, he probably would have been like, oh, I can stay high ground because my Kiriko.
I like this, by the way. This is good. I mean, obviously, it's good when you hit your shots, but even if you don't, it's still good. Careful, plat magnet. Careful.
Oh yeah, I definitely. This is a little bit of trouble.
So like, I don't mind you pressing W. Just be like here, and then immediately get to here, like here, or just sit on this cover here, right, and don't push past it.
Yeah, I think I try to get the kill. I hope I don't die because I have TP.
This hero. Just use it. Probably didn't need to TP that. You need to get out.
Yeah, I kind of like. The problem is I'm TPing to the people who are right next to me, so it's like 2 frames of invulnerability, and then I'm like back to taking damage instead of like TPing to someone.
And I will say as well, this is another situation where like just using your Kitsune or whatever, but then like looking to TP to your Hanzo would be better.
Right, because like the Kitsune can just be for like my junk.
And then I don't know why your Hanzo drops, but yeah, like not the best.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep watching.
Yeah. Wait a second. I think this is weird. We tried to hit a few shots.
Just go high. Just go high.
Yeah, I have not gone high ground for like over 2 minutes. It's crazy.
Man.
Yeah.
It's a very avoidable mistakes here. Okay, let's keep going. Now the queen's gonna feel a little bit better.
Yeah, the final point is not too bad.
So it's funny. It's like this is good. Right? This is kind of like what I was talking about with the solo angle, right? Where you're like, I don't really see the point of like playing here. The other problem as well is with quote unquote enabling your aggressive DPS right now is that your aggressive DPS is a Hanzo on high ground a million miles away.
Yeah.
And it's going to involve peeking their Hanzo.
Yeah.
Not really super attractive, right? So just play for yourself. Play to mark their tracer. Play to do what you're doing right now. Do exactly what you're doing right now. Just don't do this.
Just don't walk out. Yeah, because the Hanzo good, if he was good, would kill me.
You're trolling,
the cover was good. Yeah.
Just sit here and shoot Moira or shoot Queen or shoot Tracer. Like anything that you want to do from here. But this is just silly. This is really silly. Yeah. And so, you know, I mean, look at that. Like that's unreal, right? Not only did you die, but you should not have even taken 170 of that damage.
Yeah,
you could literally just sit here and then the Tracer pushes you and you just Suzu or whatever or shoot her and she's forced out, and then if they put more resources onto you, then you TP out, right?
You can just TP out. Yeah, that's a good point.
So a lot of your errors are unforced positional errors, where you're not playing cover properly, you're not taking safer but also valuable angles, and then just dying. Like right now.
Yeah, I can't.
Totally fine what you're doing. You just needed the escape route.
Yeah, I was like, I realized too late that, 30 meters is a lot, but it's not quite there.
Also, this situation, as soon as he dies, I would have already started wall climbing up here.
Yeah, that's actually, I might have actually been, because like, I was just out of TP range.
And well, even without TP range, you're buying your team more time.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if I go up, I could probably...
Then do they follow?
School on the high ground for a little bit.
Right? Do they follow?
Like,
maybe Hanzo follows, Queen can't, so then you take a 1v1, or maybe you just leave. But like, it's all about like just buying time, buying attention. So that you don't have to TP as soon. You can just stay and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait.
Yeah, I agree.
Nah, don't chicken out. You can't.
Oh, okay.
Don't chicken out. Like here.
Yeah.
You know, from here, either take the angle and like keep backing up, or either just play further away. I think you messed. All right. Yeah. Look at this as well.
Oh yeah, I kind of get distracted by the Queen. That kind of sucks.
Just stick with it. I mean, I think this fight was lost either way, but let's keep going. You have any questions so far?
No, really. I think like the positional mistake is like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Especially since I have so much mobility, it's kind of nuts that I'm fucking up so bad.
Well, that's why you're doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's the mobility curse, because you're thinking there's two mobility curses. One is the timing. When Winston's, Tracers, Kiriko's just engage just because they can, or they poke just because they can, because they're so fast. But then they get punished for it, or they get their cooldowns forced or whatever, which you have done a little bit. And then there's the mobility curse of I can position wherever I want, therefore I'm not going to think at all about my positioning. Or I can position however I want, therefore I'm going to ignore cover. But the problem is that if you're not playing cover as Tracer, you get a blink forced. Right, or you take damage.
Exactly, yeah.
If you're not playing cover as Kiriko, you get a TP force. Or even if you use like your wall climb to go to high ground, you are able to stay on the flanks that you are for longer if you use cover. Be more of a distraction.
Yeah, I think my Ana positioning probably is more consistent because I don't have all these like things to kind of mind fuck me where I'm like, I probably am way more consistent.
It's bondage through freedom. You could do whatever you want, so therefore you do whatever you want, and then you get screwed over because you do whatever you want.
Yeah, there's a lot less discipline to that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really just would love for you to take an angle here. Like I look at like you're like, oh, I'm gonna pocket my Echo, but what is your Echo doing right now?
She's backing up. Ana can do it.
But think it from like a philosophical standpoint. What kind of positioning is she in right now?
She's like, oh, she was in an aggressive position. Now she's in a safe position.
She wasn't even in an aggressive position. She was just standing on high.
She's just standing on high. Yeah, it's fair. Actually, yeah, an aggressive position is on the cap.
You know what? She doesn't deserve your time of day.
Yeah.
If she had flanked, you would have gone with her. She doesn't. You go on your own flank and you pressure.
That makes sense.
Now, I get it. Like, again, here, it's like, oh, she's critical, so now I have to heal. But now this is what we talk about, the negative feedback loop, where I don't know if it's a proper use of the term. I don't care, honestly. It's where you start by not positioning properly, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Where now that the soldier and Hanzo and Ana are allowed to walk forward and take space, and so no matter the fact that you're healing as hard as you can, it doesn't matter. You've lost.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Look at how much pressure. Look at what you did. Look what you did. Watch the Hanzo. Hanzo gets shot. Hanzo now has to, instead of staying, which he should have been able to do, if you had been heal botting, he has to drop. Hanzo critical and drops, so now look what Moira has to do. Moira
has to drop to heal.
Moira stops supporting Queen. Queen also has to drop. Now Moira also has to drop. And then you keep going. Be careful because you are by yourself.
Alright. I got lucky, but we got it.
I wouldn't say you got lucky. It was an educated risk.
That is fair. I did have TP. I wouldn't have jumped down if I didn't have TP.
You would not have jumped down if he wasn't 1 HP.
Yeah, that's also true.
Right? So sometimes you bend the rules because you think, this guy's feeding, I can get the kill.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I should be supporting my junk.
Okay, I am going to be honest with you. I don't know how much you could have helped here, considering that you've just used your Suzu. Why did you use your Suzu?
The Suzu was bad because I thought she was like on fire or some shit. No, that's a bad Suzu.
I almost missed that. I'm like, wait a second, why are we using Suzu?
Yeah.
Number one, that's obviously the biggest mistake here. I will say number two though.
Oh, she killed John. We could have killed Queen actually.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Maybe. It's just funny to me that like even though you were trying to heal bot there, you lose the fight anyway, even though you're up one.
No. Yeah, I agree. That was kind of
yes. One day. Come on. Yeah.
I got hit by my honor, but it's okay. Yeah, that does make sense.
Very risky.
Overtime. That was risky.
Yeah.
We might still lose as well, which is
yeah.
Oh yeah, we get like Omega owned on overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That is also unfortunate.
We're gonna keep moving.
Yeah, we don't stabilize for a little while, so yeah, there's a lot of just
that's a Gibraltar classic. This is the mobility curse. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Look at your team. Yeah. Look at you. You know what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my stuff forced, and then I'm not there when the fight actually starts.
Right.
Yeah. I guess it's like a timing thing, right? Where it's like
it is.
Just stay in that position until you like actually need to.
It is. Be patient. Don't peek. Waste time. Then when the fight starts, take that angle.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, mate. Yeah. Y'all are screwed. Y'all are screwed.
We do get rolled. We do get absolutely.
I want to keep watching. Let's keep going.
I'm gonna waste my time on this diva for too long. I'm not like
again
certain,
a little bit of timing too. So it's not only not a great matchup for you, but it's also a timing thing where like really you want the cart to turn the corner before you start actually engaging on this high, right?
Right.
There's no reason for these guys to peek the cart at all until now. And so now, unsurprisingly, there's nobody here, and D.Va's not even looking at you. I wonder why, right? I find this extremely amusing. Let's just watch this.
I just walked past the D.Va. Yeah, we're just like having our own fight.
Yeah. I think the D.Va's trolling here. I think what you're doing is fine, but I do find it funny. That Suzu's
yeah, well, I was thinking like if the D.Va's not gonna look at me, I'll try to kill the
No, I agree. I think you did the right thing. This Suzu's trolling.
Yeah,
you're fine.
I thought she was gonna look at me, but yeah, it's on me. I guess we got the hard part of the cart done. Weird. They kind of just gave up space.
No, you got. Yeah, I was gonna say keep your eye on your echo. Keep your eye on your echo. All right, break this choke. Break this choke. Break this choke. Get out of here. Get. Now DPS. Stay on him. Nice. Now what do you do?
Ooh, I think I probably should be getting high ground here because like these guys are free fucking.
Hurt him. Stop. Hurt them. Right?
Yeah.
Hurt them. You stop prevention, not the cure. Prevent.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because like now they get to rotate.
Yes. Look at this. Moira Fate forced healing. Anna's 80 strafing and she's missing half of her shots.
I'm trying to,
Okay, she's not the only one missing half of her shots. Nice. Get it. Good. Remember we talked about this at first point attack. What actually matters? And look what you just won. I would
the high ground. Yeah.
Careful. This is the this is the plat magnet where it's like I get it to finish a kill, but like there's just no reason for this.
Yeah, there's no reason to because like I can just push at the people.
Just shoot here, and then when you see like a quick finish, this is way too, like she could just sleep you, you know?
Yeah, this is like extremely risky, and she just happens to miss her sleep instead of the thing.
She also like, ignores you for like 6 years.
Yeah, I don't know what she was doing.
I don't either. That'd been me on Anna, you've been dead like 6 times over.
It is true, like she actually was just not looking at me.
Honestly, don't hesitate to do it. You know? Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
You know? Especially in an OT fight, don't hesitate. If you think that, oh shoot, we're getting contested, I'm gonna pop it, blow it out, and use it over here, then peek over here and use it and kill their high ground over here, right? Now,
Right,
obviously,
yeah.
there's a risk of it getting kited,
Yeah.
but don't save it for Kingdom Come. Use it.
Yeah, it should be easy. Yeah.
Goodbye. Oh. Yeah.
There's a bit late.
Yeah. Understatement of the decade. By the way, you want to hear something funny? Do you see this
Yeah.
camera right here?
Yeah.
Keep watching.
I'm on like.
That was your mouse movement at that point in time.
Yeah. That was me being like, wow, what a troll.
I find that super creepy. I'm not gonna lie. It tracks you even when you're dead.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I noticed that. It's like it shows like all the fucking. Because you're looking at someone in third person, but also sometimes I just get frustrated and I'll just like do the mouse shake.
You could. It's probably worth the risk to do what you're thinking about right now.
Yeah, especially because
you got nothing. You gotta win this fight.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah, being like I can't be passive in a situation where we're gonna lose this.
You win the fight. Win the fight. You have to win the fight. You don't don't be like, oh no, if I TP I might die. Well, that would maybe make sense if you had 5 ults and they had 0, right? But no, you're just going to lose this slowly.
We're just delaying the inevitable. Yeah.
Right.
We literally have no resources. We need to force something.
The only way that you win this fight is if
we like kill the soldier at the top with my Reaper.
If right here this guy dies.
Yeah.
And then or this guy dies. Right?
Yeah.
In either way, you've just shut down one of their ultimates, and then now you take this position, and then you start spamming from it, right? Yeah. Okay.
Look how nice it is,
what are you seeing? What skills that you need to practice?
At least on Kiriko, definitely like making sure like the timing and the position of these like pokes and engages, so that I like have my resources when I'm trying to engage. And also to make sure that like where I'm focusing my attention on is like proactive and like aggressive and is like you said like winning the fight, like make plays that put pressure on the DPS or even the supports. Be with get the high ground, that's a big one. And like be with like my DPS to secure that space,
right?
Especially in the high ground.
Right. Careful with that that plat magnet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I definitely was like feeling myself.
Well, it's not just when you feel yourself; it's also when you don't feel yourself, and you're just like, if I can't, gotta get closer.
Oh, like I have to. Yeah.
Right.
I know what you mean.
You get sucked in. That's the type of tunneling you got to be really careful about. You got to be patient with where you're at. If you're on a good cover, good corner, good angle, good high ground, and you're not hitting your shots, doesn't matter. Remember, you don't even necessarily need to hit your shots with the position to have value, because you're controlling that position and preventing them from taking it. But then you're also
like the threat of hitting my shots can sometimes
and the distraction, of course. So I think your fundamentals of Kiriko, you have the right idea, but the execution is very lacking in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's pretty off. I agree.
Would also keep a look at Suzu usage.
Yeah, there's a couple of pretty thorough Suzus.
I would. I don't know how to describe it. It felt like there were times when you would Suzu when it wasn't necessary, or you would Suzu when you should have TP'd. Is kind of like the general.
Oh yeah, especially the self Suzu was like I never really thought, like when you said like, oh, you're going to escape anyway, that kind of like made something click in my brain. It's like, unless it's like a squishy where it's like, oh, I can use this Suzu to get like one more like headshot.
Right.
But like if I'm going to be leaving anyway and it's like a Winston and like the next like 2 shots are not going to kill him, then I should just TP out and save the Suzu for my team.
Yep, 100%. 100%. It's like one of those weird ones where it felt like I like looking for like a consistent line of thought of things that you needed to practice with the Suzu, but I didn't really have one. It was like a couple of things, but that one was one of them, right? Where with the Suzus, where it was like, you're gonna TP anyway, why even use it, you know? So
yeah, I agree.
Work on one of those at a time. I mean, you know the routine. You've worked with Stux. You know how these kind of things look. So pick something, like, work at it for a day. Now, what I will say that I have done over time is I've grown more flexible with how you practice things. So you might focus on one thing at a time for a day, for a week, for a game. You might be like, all right, this is my Suzu game. Next is my angle game. The other is my timing game, right? It could be a day. It could be a week. I don't really care. We just want you engaged. We want you engaged in something, practicing something. and we want to give you time to practice it, but we also don't want to bore you. Right, there would be nothing worse than focusing on Suzu usage for a week. You'd just be bored.
I honestly think it's like very like matchup and like map dependent. Like there are definitely some maps where like the high ground and stuff is like way more important. There'll be some matchups when they're running like Ana, Junker Queen, fucking Ashe, and it's like Suzu usage is very important.
True, that's a good point.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. So just keep those in your mind, and then just select one of them to emphasize, and then just roll with that. I like your mechanics. I do like your proactivity. I just want you to be more educated and directed with it. If we could do that.
Yeah, I think it's like it's proactive, but if it's at the wrong time, then I'm like very passive when I actually need it to be proactive, right?
Right. Yeah. And I will say a lot of your proactivity was not in a very space friendly manner. It was a lot of I drop, I'm pushing into the enemy team, frontlining, trying to hit my shots magnet instead of like, oh, I'm gonna take this high ground, I'm gonna take this angle, you know, the Hanzo's high, Cassidy's here, you know, or the Reaper's flanking. And then it was like, oh, I'm gonna heal my Echo, and I'm gonna heal my Echo, I'm gonna heal my Echo. I'm like, take an angle, take an angle, I beg. But yeah, okay. Do you have any questions?
Honestly, not really. I think like we covered a lot of it in game. I guess like yeah, no, not really. I was just gonna say like I have my own structure of like how to focus on those things in game.
Sure.
Like this like bullet point note is like perfect for me. This is what I write for myself, so it's like I can literally copy paste it in. And
okay, great. And then how like exactly whatever works better for you is what works better for you. Roll with that.
Yeah.
Okay. If any questions do come up, you shoot me a message anytime.
Easy.
And